You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing, daily, hopefully. Hello everybody, it's Monday the 12th of August and you are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer. And I've had a very successful writing day today. So I have written about 2,500 words of chapter 34 of Empress of the Trees. It's quite interesting because the stuff I wrote yesterday didn't quite go the way I intended it to, which meant I had to tweak my scene breakdown. And then today, again, the things that need to happen, the chapter is going to end at the right point, but I seem to be getting there in a way that's made up. And actually, I really like some of the stuff I've written today. So I would say it's the most emotional. So there's a little scene between Ronnie and Adrian Vickers, which is the first acknowledgement that there is an attraction there. It's not going to go any further than that in the main part of the book, but it's been kind of obvious for a little while now, but with everything that's happened, they've kind of acknowledged it. And the sweetest but saddest part was that Marianne was finally got to, or was reunited with Mackenzie, and Mackenzie who's totally unconscious, on the verge of death and not likely to wake up again ever. But they kind of told him, it was quite sweet, I wrote this bit offline so you didn't see it, but they admitted that they wished that they'd told him that they had feelings for him before he ran away, even though they admit he probably would have ran away even quicker if they had done. But that was kind of a nice moment to write, because they've not been able to talk to, well, they still can't because he's unconscious, but it's the first time they've actually been in the same room together since a massive chunk of the book. So I enjoyed writing that. And then all the stuff that's just come out, where the tree was absolutely disgusted about Clayton's treatment of Claire. I had no idea that was coming. I literally had no idea that the spirit within the tree would look at what Clayton, because he effectively raped her, and not effectively, he did, and I had no idea that the tree would look at that and go, right, so you have these rules, you have what is deemed acceptable behaviour, but you totally ignore it if you think you're not going to get caught. That's the kind of species you are. Are you right? I see. Okay, well, I think that kind of helps us make our decision about whether you should be allowed to survive or not. And and I actually wanted to do something far nastier to say as well. I still might, because he's not dead yet. So I've got some really good meaty. It needs editing, as I freely admit. When I write this stuff, it falls out of my head, and it's probably quite scruffy in the writing. There will be word repetition, there'll be mistakes, and it's really in the edit, when I actually sit down and edit it, that it'll come together. But I'm really, really pleased with what I've got written today, all 2,500 words of it. And I suspect the next chunk will be quite easy to write as well, because it's effectively the same scene set in the same place. It's just that Ronnie and everybody's going to turn up, and now they're like, oh, we want to talk to the creature. There's no way of talking to the creature because in fear for what Sayers was about to do to it, it smashed the equipment. It's returned to the tree, and it's now smashed the equipment that allows it to communicate with the humans. So the next thing they're going to try is this fibre optic mycelia cable. But of course, because Gaia has tried this process as outlined in Project Yankee, the side effect is that it's created a chemical in the roots that destroy mycelia, so that doesn't work. And then we're going to basically come to an impasse. There's no way they can free this creature from the tree, which means there's no way they can tell it stuff. And in the end, what they're going to have to do is physically get the entity back into Claire's body and walk it outside to another tree. By then, of course, Carl Tucker will have won the general election. He's using Lord Farnborough to get a load of army troops that are Yakunda, which means that the Skult won't attack them, which means, yeah, they've got a problem. So basically it becomes if they can get Claire out with what she knows and with what the entity inside her knows, hopefully there's a chance that the trees will decide that humans, at least some, can survive. But that's where they're at the moment. If they can't get the entity that's trapped within the tree, that's in the Arboretum, out into the general collective, then they're all going to die. And that's what they're up against. So, yeah, I've really enjoyed writing today's stuff. I might do a little bit more later. Right now I need some more water. I've only done an hour. This stream's only been an hour or so. I could probably do more, but I kind of feel that I've got other things I need to do. So, but there we go. So yeah, so I say the stream's only been an hour and this podcast is only been 6 minutes. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. Tomorrow I will definitely be doing some more writing. I'm meeting up with a certain writer who writes the Bow Street Society series, who may or may not be on the live chat as we speak. And we're both going to do some work. Oh, and I've just had a lovely spam message, which as soon as I finish the podcast, I will delete. So thank you for listening. I'll be back at some point tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/Richard Wright, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.